Alright guys, this is something on a scale that we have never seen before. First of all, Amazon just released their first image for the new Lord of the Rings TV show. If you haven't seen it, here it is now. And oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful. I might be a little bit early on saying this, but like I just said, we have never seen something on this scale before. I mean, like, look at the image. There are trees that are lighting up the entire world. It is absolutely insane. I'm freaking out right now because Amazon just released their poster for the Wheel of Time, and now they're releasing this image. And they're like giving us a whole tease and everything. Amazon is killing it in the fantasy landscape right now, especially with the Wheel of Time and now this image. So first off, Amazon just told us that the series will release September 2022. So it's a whole year from now. We're gonna have to wait. It's such like a tease, but it's so exciting to be able to see. So the story is set in the Second Age. So you might be asking yourself, why are the trees of Valinor here? Because that happens like well before the Second Age. I'm thinking that it's more like a prelude, kind of what they did with like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, to be able to set up context of everything that's going on. So this is our like little prelude of what's going on. And if this is like the attention of detail and all that they're getting with just a prelude, I'm excited to see what they'll be doing with the rest of the series. After all, it is like the highest budgeted TV show of all time. Let's hope that Wheel of Time gets some sort of the same amount of attention. So there isn't too much to actually be confirmed through this image, so we're gonna have to speculate quite a bit just looking at it, because after all, they just released the image and just gave us a release date. They didn't really say anymore, but of course the fans are gonna look at it and pull from it and try to like deep dive as much as they can. So first thing we can obviously see is this like beam of light coming from the background, and if you like look a little bit closer, you can see these trees. You can see two trees emanating light. Obviously people who know Lord of the Rings and know Silmarillion and all the histories and stuff, they know what these trees are. We know what purpose they serve and all of that, and like what key part of history they play. So we are in the age of the trees, obviously, and if we look to the front part of the image, we see like an elven dude. He's like dressed in white and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go out and speculate a little bit here. The Tolkienist can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is Sauron right here. After all, it is still called the Lord of the Rings show, so it is about Sauron. It's about his like forging of the rings, and it's about the Second Age basically, and all the stuff that happens in Numenor. So this is, I believe this is Sauron, when Sauron was feeding information to Melkor, because inevitably this happens probably in the prelude, but what happens is Melkor works with Ungoliant and destroys the trees basically. So I believe this is Sauron looking at the trees and feeding information to Sauron, and hopefully in this like little prelude part we'll get to like some history of like Sauron, some history of Ungoliant, some stuff that's going on in history in the Middle Earth. I think this is like the closest thing we're gonna get to Silmarils basically. I think this prelude sequence that Amazon is gonna do for the show is basically just gonna be like forging of Middle Earth, and then it's probably just gonna be like the closest thing to the Silmarils that we get, because outside of that we haven't got any more information from Amazon. But I'm gonna read exactly what Amazon has told us and has confirmed. They say that it'll take place where great forces were forged, and when I hear forge, obviously I just think of like the Great Rings. And then it goes on to say that kingdoms rose and then fell in ruin, and then obviously we know what happened with Numenor. For people who don't know and are going to watch the show, I'm sure it'll show those events during the show, so I don't want to spoil anything, but like a literal god is involved with it, so you know, shit goes down. It also says that we'll see characters that we are already familiar with, and then we'll also see new ones. So we'll probably see like Galadriel, probably Elrond. Some people were speculating that that image and the kingdom right there is Rivendell. I don't really think so. I'm hoping that it's like a new type of city in Valinor that we'll just get introduced to. And then they also say that the conflicts will happen in Numenor and Misty Mountains, and those would be kind of like the main areas that we're going to kind of stick around, at least for the beginning part of the series. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in Numenor, because that's a place we haven't really explored when it comes to adaptations and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure this series will start off with that prelude, and this is probably an image of that prelude of Sauron and Melkor's relationship basically, and then it's going to go and give us context of what's happening in the Second Age with Sauron as he's forging the Great Rings and he's bringing up all this power to rule the world. But yeah, I'm hoping this prelude includes the Silmarils and it really sets up everything that's going on. And then obviously I think the TV show is going to take place in the Second Age at probably the beginning part of Forging the Rings and when Sauron gets to Numenor. And then maybe the series ends probably like a long time from then. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, but when Sauron loses the ring, basically. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the image. I think it's super cool. Let me know in the comments below of some of the things that you think the TV show will be about, maybe what they'll cover. I'd love to hear from you. While you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.